In this exercise, we're going to introduce another path into our compound shape, and we're going to assign it its own unique shape mode. I've gone ahead and saved my progress as the whole is Ringo.ai, so called because as much as you might think that the walrus is Paul, in fact, the whole is Ringo inside of the 10 Pathfinder panel. I'll go ahead and return Ringo to his previous location right there. And what I want to do is I want to introduce this fin element into the compound shape. So the first thing that I'm going to do is grab the fin and drag it up the layers panel so that it's sitting on top of the compound shape like so, because I want you to see what it looks like here. We're going to use this red path outline, which is a closed path once again, to slice a hole between the submarine and its rudder. And we're going to do that by introducing the fin into the compound shape. After all, the fin can serve as a hole if we assign it its own unique Pathfinder operation. So I'll meatball the fin, and I'll shift meatball the compound shape so that I can combine the two together. And then I'll go up here to minus front, and I'll click on it. And nothing happens. There's no change to my illustration. There is no immediately obvious change to the paths here inside the layers panel. However, if you go up to the edit menu, you'll see it says undo subtract. Great. So Illustrator thinks it did something. In fact, the only thing it did was it changed the name of fin to path. So it just wiped out my object name right there. That's of no use to me, frankly. So that was the wrong thing to do. I'll go ahead and press Control Z, Command Z on the Mac in order to restore the name fin. That's all I'm really doing there. What you need to do, and those of you who are feeling awfully sharp have probably predicted this by now, because we're working on a compound shape, I need to go ahead and Alt-click or Option-click on minus front. And that's what I'll go ahead and do. That goes ahead and throws fin into the compound shape, and by the way, goes ahead and assigns it the minus operation so that it's cutting a hole in the submarine in order to separate out that rudder. And now I could move that fin shape to a different location if I wanted to by isolating it. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over here to my compound shape and twirl it open. And I'm going to double click over to the right of the word swatches just to go ahead and collapse this panel so that I have a little more room to work down here. And notice now that I have a compound shape that contains fin and another inset compound shape which contains Ringo and submarine. That just seems so inefficient, but that's the way things are set up right now. Anyway, if you meatball fin independently of the others, you'll see that the minus front shape mode is assigned to it. You'll also see that you can move it to a different location if you like in order to further cut holes inside of the submarine and Ringo to your heart's content right there. Anyway, I'll go ahead and move it back where it was by pressing Control Z, Command Z on a Mac. Let me show you what I consider to be a more elegant way to work. I'm going to go ahead and press Control Z or Command Z again in order to undo the combining of fin and compound shape into yet another compound shape. And I'm just going to grab the fin. I'll go ahead and meatball it. A couple different ways to work here. One is, if you can find your shape inside the layers panel the way I can, very easy to find here, then you can just go ahead and grab fin and drag it into the compound shape, and it becomes a member of that shape. Now, it doesn't come in right. Doesn't come in with the right shape mode, in other words. We'll address that in just a moment. But notice that we have everything fused into a single compound shape instead of having one compound shape nested inside of another. All right, that's one way to work. Go ahead and undo, Control Z, Command Z on the Mac. I want to show you another way to work, not just to complicate things for you here, but to give you another option in case you can't really find your path that you're looking for inside the layers panel, which is often the case when you're working with very complicated artwork. So you'd select the object that you want to add to the compound shape. You go up to the edit menu and you choose a cut command or press Control X, Command X on the Mac. And then with the white arrow tool so that you can dig into the compound shape, you would Alt click or Option click on your base path in order to select it. And actually, you know what? You don't have to Alt or Option click. You could just click on an anchor point or a segment, just partially select that base path to make it active, and then go up to the edit menu and choose Paste in Front or press Control F, Command F on the Mac, and notice that goes ahead and pastes the fin in front of submarine. So it doesn't really matter if fin is immediately in front of submarine or Ringo, just as long as it's somewhere in front of the base path, which is submarine. In other words, it could be above Ringo as well if you like. All right, notice that Illustrator automatically assigns a shape mode of Unite to the new path because Unite is the default shape mode. If you want to change that out, and of course in our case we want to change it to minus front, then you would Alt-click or option click on that minus front icon, and that goes ahead and switches out the shape mode that's assigned, in our case, to Finn because Finn is selected. No problem, by the way, that Finn has a shape mode of minus front, whereas if I alt-click or option-click on Ringo right here, he's got a shape mode of exclude. He could have any other. I could alt-click on unite, I could alt-click on intersect, what have you. So each one of the paths inside the compound shape gets its own unique shape mode. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and alt-click or option-click on exclude in order to restore Ringo to his previous shape mode. In the next exercise, I'm going to show you how to convert this dynamic compound shape into a static compound path.